George Billionaire.
Holla, holla.
Hi,
How you doing?
how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Where did that come from?
Right. So George Billionaire is what we call an SFP.
Okay.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that I studied and looked up to so many billionaires growing up. And I decided to say, listen, I like these people, and this is ultimately what I want to become. So why not from now begin the SFP, which is called the Pygmalion effect, which is whatever you talk about comes about. So that's where it began, and this is where we are now.
There's something that I want to ask you. Please tell me the truth. So you are a family man.
Right.
We know that. How does that attribute to your success as a man? Just being a family man, I see you post your kids, you post your wife. Like, why?
Okay, so I think one of my greatest role models are my dad and my mom. So as a child, whatever you grow up seeing ultimately creates habits and cultures and certain things that you grow up becoming.
Yeah.
So I grew up in a very loving family. My dad and mom would go on holidays, would go on trips with them.
Yeah.
My dad was very proud of his mom.
Yeah.
So when you grow up being nurtured in that way, you end up most likely becoming like your dad or your mom.
Yeah, yeah.
So what you see me doing, even with my kids,
Is your dad?
the school run diaries, my dad took me to school, all of that was a way of bonding that I grew up seeing. So what you see me doing now is the exact same thing I experienced growing up. So, I love my family, I love my kids. I try and spend as much time with them as possible, because you'll know in life, time is not given to everybody.
So true.
Anybody can go at any time. So we need to make as much memories and, appreciate each other.
My dad was the first person I had on this episode.
All right.
People will say what they want.
Mhm.
Mommy problems, daddy problems. But I think for me, one of the biggest things is that in terms of how a man treats me,
Yeah.
the standard is my dad.
Right. True.
So I just want to say thank you. I just want to say well done.
Yeah.
We see you.
Mm.
Please continue.
True.
Please continue. So apart from that, George Billionaire, you are in business. How do you navigate business and the mental health aspect of what happens in Zimbabwe? Tell us the truth.
I think there's a lot of pressure out there. And, if fathers are not as celebrated as any other holiday. So believe it or not, Father's Day is the 20th celebrated, holiday that there is in the world. And yet fathers are the ones who go out there. They make sure kids' fees are paid, rent is paid, a lot is done. So there's a lot of pressure on men, but the men that are out there are not being appreciated. One of the major challenges with mental health with men, it's a simple thing called lack of appreciation. If men were to be appreciated and acknowledged at home, trust you me, there'll be far more better, happier men. There are many men I know who are very well award accoladed, successful in business, in the business community. But when they get home, they are not celebrated. They are not appreciated. They are spoken ill in front of their children. They are abused. There's a lot that happens. So when that happens to men, trust you me, a man's ego is the most important thing. And once his ego at home, which is his first kingdom, is not there, it affects a lot of men. Men then, are not happy with life, and a lot happens. I think men have the highest suicide rate because they don't have somebody to speak to. But trust you me, that's where the affirmations from their women, a man can make a mistake, but there's always a way to get around it. There's always a way of encouraging to get him back where he's supposed to be. So men should be treated like kings in their homes. I know a lot of women shake their heads when they hear that, and they have all sorts of reasons. He did this, he did that.
Why? Yeah.
But believe it or not, he's still the father of your kids. He's still your husband. Honor him, respect him, and speak forth what you want to see in that man. And I can tell you, you'll be amazed at what he will become.
Ooh. Okay. So I was married.
Hmm.
I met my ex-husband when I was 19. I'm very much one of those women who submit, who do everything that a man wants you to do.
Yeah.
I like to think so.
Hmm.
But it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to. I've not given up on love.
Yeah.
No way. I
True.
still believe that there are some really good men out there.
Hmm.
But it's so disheartening. And like, I've done this thing where every day I post a joke on TikTok about Mujolo, etc, etc. I don't know what you can tell us, because then I go on Instagram and I see you with your family, with your kids, with your wife, and I'm like, this looks good. How do we achieve this?
There's a simple principle in life, and when you fail, the abbreviation of the word fail is not fail as in you didn't succeed. It's called first attempt in learning. So just because whatever you went through didn't work, trust you me, you're better off now because there are certain things you learned
Definitely.
than somebody who hasn't.
Definitely.
So, such is it in business. I've tried so many businesses, and some said they failed. But I've never said that. I found what did not work, and then ultimately, until I found Pro Air now, which is working. So, we live and we learn. That's the most important thing. But so many people want to hold on to their bad lessons and hold on to that and think that there are no good men out there. I was not born to be an entrepreneur because I failed. I was not born to be a mother. I was not. So whatever you speak about yourself is ultimately what will become. I spoke earlier about the SFP, the self-fulfilling prophecy. I tell people, I call myself George Billionaire. And sooner than later, trust you me, we will watch this show in years to come. And you say he spoke about it many years ago, and it has come. So there are a lot of people out there who don't taste their words before they release them. So according to the principle of earth where we live, whatever you talk about comes about. So if you keep saying specific negative things about yourself, I don't believe in love, I don't think this is going to work, be very careful, because you're throwing seeds into your future. So when bad things begin to happen, it's because you spoke them in. I don't want to seem like a preacher, but indeed I am. The word of God says, let the weak say,
I'm strong.
Let the poor say, let the weak say. So there's something powerful about speaking forth what you want. So because you had a bad experience, it wasn't a bad experience. It was a life lesson. You've learned. There's
sitting here today.
There are certain standards you expect. Unfortunately, this time it didn't work. But guess what? Let's look forth. Let's look ahead and let's go forward rather than keeping on looking. There's the rear view mirror and then there's the windscreen. If you keep looking at the rear view, you're going to bump into what's ahead of you. That's why it's smaller and the windscreen is bigger. So if you keep your eyes forward, are positive, you look forward for brighter things, trust you me, good things will come your way. So that was a lesson that life taught you. And now moving on, there are certain expectations that you're going to have, and as you move on, even you yourself are going to be a better person.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So before we finish, everyone is doing a questionnaire. I think we have about 4 left. Just pick one. Let's see.
If you were an animal, what would it be and why? Wow, I've got an amazing story on that.
Okay, tell us.
That's my mother's totem.
Tell us.
I would be a lion.
Okay. Indunera shumba, so
Saka mutore amai. So I would pick a lion because a lion is bold. A lion is confident. A lion does not care about the opinions of any other animal. When a lion wakes up, it announces its presence and everybody listens. So I would say I would love to be a lion because it's courageous. Every lion, there's no animal which hunts a lion. A lion is focused. It's a go-getter. It's the king of the animal kingdom because of its self-belief. So because of that, I would say I am a lion. I would love to be a lion because of those traits. And yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I wish I could have a whole day just to like glean from you guys and your wisdom. As an activist, I spend so much time with women. But my mandate right now is that we need to hear more from the men.
True.
You know, it's very, very, very important. So I'm hoping that this will not be the first time.
Yep.
We will sit again and we'll try to figure this thing called out life, because I think none of us know
True.
how to do it.
True. And you know, I love what you're doing with the show.
Thank you so much.
And there's a lot of men out there who need a voice
Yes.
to actually be spoken so others can hear.
Yes.
So many men are going through the most, trust you me.
Oh my gosh.
And if men do not get the assistance, men are very quiet, held in, they don't talk a
So we're
lot.
gonna force it out of you guys.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for just coming out and being part of the podcast. I think it's going to change lives, and it's only just the beginning. Thank you so much.
True. Proud of you. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you.
Sure then.
Bye.